Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's me, Shay Johnson, and of course, I am doing my live takeover on USA Fibroid Centers. I might sound a little congested because I am moving around a lot, I am doing a lot, and it's harder with the baby. But guess what? I'm getting the hang of this new mom situation, and I'm doing it even though I make many mistakes. It's okay. Anyhow, let's get into it. All right, so every month I come to you and I do a live takeover on USA Fibroid Centers. Our main focus is fibroids, but my situation is a little unique, only because I've kind of carried you guys through my process of being pregnant with fibroids. It was an interesting process. We kind of talked about it a lot. For those of you that missed it, you can go back on USA Fibroid Center's page and check out my videos. I got very in-depth. Of course, again, I was pregnant with fibroids. And because I had fibroids, when I had fibroids a couple years ago, I had a myomectomy done. They removed the fibroids, left my uterus so I can conceive. That's how my baby Jaya is here. But the whole time I had, that I was pregnant, I found out, during my pregnancy, I found out I had previa, which the placenta is blocking the cervix. So I had to have a cesarean, a C-section. So this is all coming from the myomectomy surgery that I had. So because I had that surgery and I had scar tissue, for whatever reason, my placenta didn't move. It kind of stayed stuck in front of my cervix because of my surgery with the myomectomy, which led me to have a cesarean, which I did not want. I'm very familiar with that pain. They cut in the same area where, my myomectomy surgery was. So to heal from that is hell, period. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was painful. It was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. But today's topic is basically focusing on fibroids after my pregnancy. All right. So I went through the whole process of being pregnant with fibroids, and the fibroids were there. They grew slightly, but they didn't cause as many complications as I thought they would. But this is the issue I'm having now. So after I had Shajaya, I was kind of anxious to have a first menstrual cycle. And why I was anxious to have a first menstrual cycle is because I wanted to see if there were any similarities to my menstrual cycle when I had fibroids before versus the menstrual cycle I would have after having a child. Well, it just happened, ladies and gentlemen. I just had my first menstrual cycle, and unfortunately, I noticed a lot of symptoms that I had before, from like the small clots that would come out, kind of heavy menstruals in the beginning, but it wasn't as heavy. Basically the same process that I noticed before when I first had fibroids, I noticed immediately on my first menstrual cycle. And I am totally upset. Totally upset, because now I'm forced to face decisions. Because if this is the beginning stages of the fibroids and their growth process, I don't want to wait until they're a certain size like before and they were pressing against my bladder, and I was just constantly going to the bathroom. I had accidents in bed, and the clots went from like this size, and they would just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, and even one came out the size of my palm when I was in the shower before. This was the last time I had my fibroids. Literally a huge clot came out the size of my palm, and I was showering, standing up and everything, and I looked down because I felt something just dropped, and I heard it. It just dropped, and I'm like, what is that? But I noticed the smaller clots that led up to that moment. So my thing is, and I need you guys to totally help me. My thing is, I don't know what to do. like I said, now I noticed the smaller clots. They were about, you know, not huge, but they were about this size. They were coming out. And this first menstrual cycle after my period was not light. It wasn't extremely heavy, but it wasn't normal at all. So it's it bothers me because I'm like, what do I do? Should I wait just to see if the clots will get bigger, if the symptoms from my fibroids will grow? Will my menstrual cycle get heavier? Will I have the same fibroids that press against my bladder and I'm constantly going to the bathroom? Should I wait till I have all these bloody accidents? I'm like, ugh. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I have my daughter here. I'm happy. I'm a new mom. And now here we go with the fibroid situation again. So I do not know what to do. I'm very, very conflicted. I did tell you guys that if it did came down to, this is what I said in my previous lives, if it came down to it, I would most likely do a UFE, but I honestly don't want to do anything. Because my options would be a UFE or a myomectomy. And of course I would lean towards UFE, uterine fibroid embolization. And I would do that with Dr. Yin. I have to call you back. I'll call you back. I would do that with Dr. Yin, and I don't know. I think it's a conversation I need to have with a few doctors, you know, and that's probably what I'll do today. Now that I'm talking to you guys, I want to talk to a couple doctors at USA Fibroid Centers and just get an opinion. Let them know what's going on with my menstrual cycle, what happened, how it's going, and maybe they can more so help me. I just wish I didn't have to deal with this, you guys. It's unfortunate, but I am. If there's a situation to where I actually go to USA Fibroid Centers and have a consultation, I want you guys to go through that process with me so you can see the process of what you go through before you have a UFE procedure. All right, so I'll call Dr. Shiloh today to see if I can get him on a live just to give me a little direction, a little clarity, maybe an opinion, let him know what my situation is, and we'll kind of take it from there, all right? So here's a new journey we're beginning with me, Shay Johnson. You're going to take this journey with me, and we'll see what happens, all right? So I'll try to do the next live at 2. Give Dr. Shiloh a little time to prepare. I know today is Saturday. We normally don't do lives on Saturdays, but this was important to me, so I wanted to get it out. I just finished this menstrual cycle. I want to tell you guys what's happening. And once I do the consultation with Dr. Shiloh on live today at 2 o'clock, my last live today around 6 or 7 o'clock, I'll let you guys know. I'll get your opinions on what you think I should do. I value your opinions, you guys. We go through this together. Why? Because, what is it, 80% of most women will have some type of case of fibroids. Even though we don't talk about it, we're very familiar with the symptoms. Some of you have had the procedure of UFE. Some of you have had the myomectomy, you know what I mean? Some of you have even had the hysterectomy. So I would love to hear some of your opinions on what you think I should do. And that's how we'll do today's live. So there you have it. My first menstrual cycle, and I see fibroid symptoms. Terrible. So I'll talk to you guys at 2 o'clock. All right? Okay.